Good morning. Now, perhaps you've noticed something a little bit amiss about this footage here. Perhaps, for example, you may have noticed that we've got some very nice bokeh effect, background blur, shallow depth of field that my camera is not supposed to be capable of. Also, perhaps less noticeably, more subtly, my face is actually in 4K. What gives? Okay, so to cut the suspense, I did get a new camera. This is the Sony ZV-E10, ZV-E10, however you want to say it. Not the most brilliant name in the world, but it is a pretty new APS-C interchangeable lens camera. Not too long ago, I did mention that I was not considering moving into interchangeable lens cameras, but a number of things have changed since that time, not least of which is that pretty good interchangeable lens cameras like this one have become rather affordable. Prices have come down. This camera, it's a pretty good APS-C camera, no crop, oversampled 4K footage and all that. It costs less than twice the price of my very aged point-and-shoot camera that I was shooting with all of this time. These things seem like a pretty good deal now, which is why I decided to make the leap and open myself to the temptation of buying a bunch of lenses. Building a lens collection, I never thought that I'll be saying this, talking about lenses and stuff, but I guess here I am. So I did go ahead and get myself an extra lens as well, in addition to the kit lens that comes with this camera, to make the upgrade feel a little bit more noticeable even for myself. I decided to go ahead and get the Viltrox 23mm f1.4, which among a number of things should have much better bokeh, background blur, shallow depth of field performance than anything my previous camera is capable of. So I don't want to go into detail, make a detailed review of this camera and what it can do and why I bought it and all that. Not right now anyway. But I do want to start getting used to using this thing, figure it out, put it through its paces, and just get used to it, And that is why I'm making this vlog.
来了啦！
加米。
周末会派我。
We are in the Empire shopping mall, Suba. Nothing particularly interesting here, just vlogging for the sake of vlogging. Also interested in how the microphone does in a more hostile environment like this, where there's a lot of ambient noise. Can you even hear me right now? Pretty impressed by how the Ulanzi mini tripod, mini grip thing is holding up with the more hefty camera. Also, it's very noisy around here, so am I audible? Is Sony's new multi-directional camera noise cancelling thing actually working well? We'll find out during the editing process. We're testing the smooth skin effect now because that's what my mom is interested in.
Meow. Meow.
I really like balconies, and this fact is known to my family, and that is why this particular room in this house, the one with the balcony, ended up being my room. But the funny thing is that I haven't been out at the balcony in a really long time, and there are a number of reasons for that. Chief which is that the air conditioning unit exhaust is out here, so it becomes extremely uncomfortable, loud and hot whenever the air conditioning unit is switched on. So as a result, I haven't been out here for a really long time. But since we're testing out this guy, this is a pretty good occasion to see what the low light capabilities of this camera is. Now sensor-wise, this camera has a much bigger sensor than my old camera. So in theory, the sensor should be much more resilient in low light, will have much better ISO performance than the old camera. I expect that to be true, but the complicating factor is that low light performance is a function of both the sensor capabilities as well as the lens, and the kit lens that comes with this camera has a pretty small minimum aperture, pretty small maximum aperture. It's pretty bad in low light, and the kit lens is what I'm using now. It doesn't look very good on the LCD preview, so I don't know. We'll see when we're editing, I suppose. Now I also bought the Viltrox 23mm f1.4, of course, and this lens is supposed to have a much larger maximum aperture, and so it should perform much better in low light, give a much better representation of the low light capabilities of this sensor. The LCD preview looks pretty good. Got a nice background bokeh, which you get from having such a large aperture.
You know what? It's nice. Maybe I should come out more often.
So, it's been a rather haphazard sort of random vlog. So what do I think about the new camera? It's, what can I say, great. So the only other camera I've ever owned is a Sony point and shoot. So it's familiar because this is also a Sony camera. And people have been saying that apparently Sony's menu system is supposed to be terrible, but it's the only camera menu system I've ever been exposed to, so there's nothing I can compare it to. The autofocus on this is godsend. I've been getting kind of triggered by the terrible autofocus on the very dated point and shoot. So getting this camera with Sony's new top of the line autofocus, what can I say? Excellent stuff. So that about wraps up this vlog. But before we end, I do want to kind of talk about what happened near the end of 2021 a bit. So near the end of 2021, we actually made a trip, like 4 days, to Penang Island. And I actually vlogged every single one of those days. And those vlogs are originally scheduled to appear on this channel, but I'm looking at them now and I'm thinking maybe I'll use them instead to try to infuse a little bit of life into my very dead main channel. So now the plan is I'm gonna go ahead and edit those vlogs, and when I'm almost done with the edits, I'm gonna start uploading them like one almost episode per week onto my main channel and see if that might not infuse a little bit of life into it. There'll be about 5 videos in all, 4 days plus one hiking video because I managed to climb Penang Hill, which was cool. So if you're interested, look out for that on the main channel. And finally, one more thing that was interesting happened. Sometime during the Christmas period, even before the Penang trip, my brother actually rolled up his sleeves sort of and made us all this amazingly scrumptious Christmas meal. Notably, he also said that he sponsored the beef tenderloin inside of the beef Wellington that he also made, kind of as a way to repay all of the birthdays that he failed to get me a gift for. It wasn't necessary, but I appreciate it very much. The beef tenderloin was delicious. I love steak. Beef Wellington around it, I've never had Wellington before in my life. It is delicious. Everything else he made was also delicious. So I did manage to get some footage of that. So take a look, drool a little bit, and I'll see you guys next time. You. Yeah. Yeah. Meow. Meow.